Hello and welcome to Hobby Vlog number 148. It's been another very busy week, personal life wise. Angela has had a medical operation which went very well, so don't worry. But yeah, it's been a very busy week. I've been helping her out a lot and looking after Rosie a lot. So there's been a little bit less time for hobbying this week than actually I wanted, because this week I've started to feel a little bit more of the urge to hobby coming back, which is nice. You should never force it. There's just no point. It's a hobby, not a job. Keep saying that. As I haven't forced it, now I'm coming back to it comfortably rather than feeling like I don't want to do it. So yeah, I've done a bit of here and there, but I haven't had the opportunity like I would wish to. But still, some stuff has progressed, so hopefully you'll enjoy this video. Last week's video did incredibly well for me, no idea why, so if any of you are returning for this week, thanks for watching. And if any of you long-term viewers are watching, then yeah, you know, really appreciate you all. So I'll stop rambling now, I'll get back to you at the end of the video, and I really hope that you do enjoy watching me hobby. Thank you for watching. This awesome Mimic has sat on my shelf for quite a while, just because I had a slight misprint on the base piece and I was going to reprint it, but I've looked at it and decided actually I'm not going to reprint it. I'm just going to roll with how it is. So I might print another copy, but part of my current slight lack of interest for all kinds of hobbying is also I'm not really doing any 3D printing. I need to put a new FEP in the vat and things like that. So yeah, so I just think I'm going to go with this. I think it does look good, and I think it certainly is and doesn't detract from how awesome this model is. So we'll just super glue that on like that, and then what I'll do is I'll paint it, and then we'll put it on a base, and we'll show it off. But the fact is this is an awesome model, yeah, go and check out Odgardian. I'll try to remember to link to his shop and everything in the video description, but if not, leave a comment and I will link you up via that, because yeah, the stuff he makes is just wonderful, and this in particular I really like. I've got a few other bits and pieces of his that I'll be printing when I get back into feeling like printing, and I'll obviously shout out to him over and over because he's a top lad. But yeah, so I'm going to leave that to set now, and then I'll prime it and paint it, and I'll let you know what colours I use. But most of the time, or what I'll do, of course, as normal, is after the painting we'll have a look at how I'm going to put that onto a nice little scenic base, just so that it's not quite so wobbly. I'll put it on a small base, and that will look really nice. Anyway, there we are. I'm glad to have made that decision. It's been staring at me very, very accusingly. I just needed to make a decision and move on. I honestly can't remember the last time I touched this. Well, I know when I've touched it because I've kicked it a few times on the floor. And also Rosie has had a lot of fun, and you can't argue with that. So Rosie has a lot of fun placing the chairs and getting all of the little bits out and just putting them on the piece and what have you. So I promised her that when I come to actually doing that, I will involve her. So you've got that to look forward to. But what I'm going to look at now is two things right away, because yeah, this has been staring at me, and yeah, I just need to finish the thing. I want to paint the door, and I'm going to put the books on. So I will get myself set up. I'll paint the door first. So I'll be back in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of this brown gouache from Belgium, and I'm going to paint that on here. I decided I don't want it to be dark. I want it to have a little bit of a different colour to the rest of the dark panelled room, which is why I'm doing this, and I can just slap it on, as you can see. I'm also going to do the frame the same colour, so that will have a different effect merely because it's not a light wood, so it should look quite nice. And then once I've done this, I will then be able to put some steel, kind of like, I'm not sure whether I'll put bars or whether I'll put little nails in it or something, but I'll do something to make it a little bit less stark and just ready brown. But yeah, get this painted up. Might take a couple of coats, particularly on the surround, but the door is pretty much the colour I wanted it, so that's nice and quick. So yeah, there we are. door painted. Amazing, isn't it? You put someone off for months because you're like stressed about the whatever it is you're stressed about, and then when you get to it, it's super easy and quick. So right now we're going to have a look at the first of the books, which is very exciting. Right, so the first idea I'm going to do is with the 3D printed that you can see here. So I've got more actually to come. There's more downstairs that I'm painting, and I might get back to my printer a bit and print some more because I've got lots and lots and lots of books to put up. But you can see that these are sized carefully, other than that one which I made a mistake, so that'll have to go here. But I've sized them pretty carefully so that they should fit into all of these shelving areas, and look quite nice. Some of them have some cool little skulls, and I do have more than this. I've actually thought I brought more than this up, so I don't know where I've put them, but I've got scrolls and all sorts of things that will be able to be scattered around. So my thinking is that I'm not going to say put all of the 3D printed books together. I think it would look a little bit better to mix them up a bit and have some 3D printed next to some of my other ideas that I've got. So I'm going to scatter these around a little bit, make them to make it a little bit more interesting, put them in some nooks like this, and as I print more I will slowly but surely, slowly being the operative word, fill up the entirety of these bookshelves, and you can see just how long this is going to take me, because that's all of them in and I've barely even tickled it. So yeah, got to glue them in place with PVA now and get it done. And I think that's quite nice where I've put them. I have so many shelves to fill, but I have lots of ideas, and I've been given ideas by awesome viewers. So if you have an idea of how to make books, don't be shy, put them in the comments and I will pay attention. The ideas I've got so far are, I'm going to use air dry clay, so that's probably the one I'm going to do next. So I'll use air dry clay and sculpt it, potentially some other modelling compounds like maybe milliput or green stuff. I'm going to give that a go as well because I've got quite a lot of that. I'm going to actually just print some out, so I'm going to look for some pictures, print them out, stick them on card and then slap them on the front. The idea for this build is obviously that it looks good, and I think it will, but also to experiment. So I want to try out lots of different ideas for how to make books. So yeah, one of them is going to be just printed, and I think I've had a few others, XPS as well. So get some of the firm XPS and sculpt that, so that should work quite nicely. But I think the challenge for that will be painting it so that it doesn't actually have any of the background colour coming through. So yeah, any other ideas you've got, do fire them over. I have been making notes as they've been coming in because people have been suggesting ideas so thank you if you've already done one. I have got it on a notebook, I just don't have it right to hand in front of me right now. So yeah, don't be shy, do fire those ideas across. I'm going to see if I can find where the other 3D printed books are that I printed and painted, and get them all stuck in, and then when I'm about to start on the next idea for how to do books, I'll bring you along. My first books are glued in. You can see I need to put a lot more on. So the next thing I want to do, I've decided I am going to do this now, is I want to glue this side end piece in place. So I've brought some big clamps. I'm going to glue it with my grabby glue and clamp it in place. I've got 3 big clamps. So I'll set the camera up so that you put some music on so you can watch how I do it, because it's going to be a little bit difficult to talk through what I'm doing, but I thought you might like to see it. So yeah, so I'll pop the camera on with music, and let's get this glued in place. Right, really are wrapping this up rapidly. Wrapping it up rapidly. So what we're going to do now is stick the fence, not hedge. Tried to say both words at once then, on there. And I'm going to do it so it's like that way around. So what we're going to do is going to put a little bit of super glue on the bottom of each of these, Obviously this is not a gaming piece. I would make this much more solid if this were a gaming piece. This is going to hang on Rosie's wall. That's the plan anyway. And what I'll do is I will just stand for a minute or two and hold that so it sets, and then we'll look at sticking Beast and Dinner on, and then we'll be done. How cool is that? Well done, Roo. So we're back here. We're going to paint the other side of this and the other bits that we painted earlier. And Rosie is very, very cleverly pushing out the little bits of sprue that are here, just before we get started. I'm not going to film very much of this because it's basically going to be the same. So we've got the light grey, we've got the water, and we've got our brushes, and we're going to crack on with that. So probably the next thing that I do and film will be when we're doing a different colour. So we're going to pick out these stones in a darker grey and in a white as well, just to give it a bit of variation, and that'll be a bit of fun because I'll probably mask them to help Rosie. And then we're going to paint the ivy, and I think the ivy is going to be purple, isn't it, love? Is the ivy going to be purple? Yeah, so we'll just get this painted up, but anyway, go crack on. I won't film it, it could be the same. So yeah, let's get painting. Okay, so we have a fence. Now what I'm going to do is snip off the long bit from, actually first I need to bend it. Bend that into a foot and then snip that off. So we have Dinner, and then we're going to glue them in place. So I'll have a look at the picture, make sure that I'm happy with where, so that's that. Yeah, make sure I'm happy with where they're going to sit, and then I'll glue them in place. I'm just going to stick them to the backdrop. It's going to be the easiest way to resolve this. So I think Dinner is going to go there, and I think Beast is going to go there. So I'll just grab a little dollop of PVA, put them in there, and then when they've dried, this piece is done. How cool is that? I do actually need to put a hanging bracket on the back, but I'll do that when this is dry. So there we are. Your dinner. No, I'm not. So I think I've got to a point where what I want to do now is filling. Now you notice I've not put any of the undercarriage or anything like that on. That's because I want to paint inside, and then I'm going to assemble and paint the undercarriage separately and then glue them in place. If that works or not, we'll find out. But what I'm going to do now is use some of my Mr. Hobby, Mr. Dissolve putty to fill in the humongous and egregious gaps that there are. So you can see just around here, particularly around this tail plane, there's gaps everywhere. So I'm gonna do that. I'm not going to film it all because, well, it'll be a bit boring. But what I'll do is let's pick that gap back there, the top of the tail plane, and I'll show you how I go about doing this, and then I will just crack on with the rest of it. Yeah, so I always use a toothpick to apply this stuff. I find it means you get a good accurate application, as you can see, and also it doesn't ruin your paintbrushes, which is also a bonus. So what I'll do is I'll apply some. It does go off quite quickly, so it's got a nice working time. You're not going to be sitting ages waiting. I'll just put a little bit over here as well, and then as it kind of turns into a little bit of paste, you can kind of encourage it a little bit more. Take it off the fuselage where you don't want it, and yeah, you might end up having to do 2 or 3 applications of this, but I much prefer it to using things like green stuff or milliput for this kind of thing. And obviously once this is dried, it is sandable, so you better come in with a sanding stick. Thank you again to companies now. Squiffy Dragon, was it? For sending those. I've been using them actually. They're really, really good. There will be a proper video about that. But I have started using them. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do this for all my gaps. There's another bad one there. So we can get some putty, some dissolved putty, and just like slide it in. Like so. I really like this stuff. It was a brush stroke.
quality YouTube channel. If you don't go and follow him yet, go check him out. Superb painter. But it was Brushstroke that recommended this to me, and he was right about it, you know, because it's very, very good. Anyway, I'll get all this filled and I'll bring you back when I get to the sanding stage. Today I went online and I found some pictures of books. I'll try to remember to link to where I got them from. And I've just printed them out on with my printer. I think they look great. I think they're going to look absolutely brilliant on the bookshelves. And I went to cut them and then I got distracted and I ended up spending about 20 minutes with a scraper, scraping all of that off of my cutting mat because it just wasn't smooth and I wasn't going to be able to do this very nicely indeed at all. So what I'm going to do now is come along with my knife and my safety ruler and start to cut these books out. So I know I could use a scissors, but I far prefer using a sharp knife and a straight edge. You get a better cut, you don't get bends in what you're cutting. So I will cut all of these out, and once I've done that, I'll bring you back and show you how I'm going to mount them. But I'm pretty pleased with what I found. I think they're going to look great. Well, I cut out each of my printed out books, and as you can see, they've come out really nicely. I have attempted to kind of go along the top to do the little bit of relief just to make it a little bit more natural. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to do more than one method of supporting them or not. I've got a couple of ideas, so I'll see how I feel. But basically the first idea I'm going to have is very, very simple. So we've got a little bit of blue XPS. What I've done there is I've cut that to about 1 and a bit centimetres, just over a centimetre. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick it on the back like that, and it will then stand up. So really, really simple method. Pretty obvious that this is a way to do it. So just put a little bit of PVA there, and then carefully line that up with the back and stick it on. Now it might make more sense to have the length of blue XPS exactly the same length as the books, but I'm just going to a little bit of a test. So I'm going to do one where it's not, and I'm going to do one where I will then, after it's dried, I will then cut the overhang off. So let's put a bit more PVA on that one. And what I'll do is I'll check to see whether that curls up a bit too much, because that's obviously the concern, that it not curl up. There we are. So we'll see how well that sticks and how well that looks. And if I do decide I'm going to do another method, then I'll bring you back. And if I don't, then we will just continue on with like this. So I'll report back on the results of my experiment. I'll let you know what I've learned. But that's 3 of them now with a back that I can now let to dry and then see how they look. But this is a really nice, simple way of getting your books in, if you've got a colour printer, obviously, of getting nice books for a bookshelf. So yeah, let's see how they look when they've dried. Yesterday, this package arrived. Hobbit bad, it says on it, and yeah. Oops, I've got it upside down. But there you are, you can see what that is. This is second hand. I've been wanting to buy this for a very long time, but yeah, the price was just always too much, and then the price went up, and I was like, now the old price looks good. But I managed to find this on eBay second hand. I have not yet looked through to see that it's complete. Let me pull it out of the box. There we are, get that cardboard box out of the way. So yeah, I've not yet looked to see that it's all 100% complete, but that is my task now. So, still got the cover on it and everything. I mean, it's a good sign that that's still on there, and there still looks to be pretty much unopened and untouched, as he said it was. So what I'm going to do now, not on camera obviously, and what I'm going to do during today is go through, just make sure everything is here. And yeah, let's pull one thing out. Here is one of the wings. Wow, it's huge, isn't it? Look at that. Huh.
It's a big old beast of a kit. So my initial plan is to try to get this done for Christmas for Rosie, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to achieve that or not, but I'm going to give it a go. But first of all, I need to find out whether I've been scammed out of any money or not, whether this is actually a complete model or not. So yeah, I'll report back, and this will be done on the channel, obviously. Probably I'll try and do as much of this as I can on camera, because it's quite an exciting and awesome build. And yeah, it'd be awesome to get it done for Christmas. Rosie loves SMAUG, and this would be great to reveal on Christmas Day. Last year I did a dragon for Christmas. This would be an even more epic dragon for Christmas. Right, we are back, and we have the monster with us. Say hiya.
Hiya.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to paint some of the wooden pieces. Going to make use of this nice reddy brown. I really like it. And I've just given the instructions, haven't I? So do you want to say where are we going to paint, Roo?
On the line.
Only on the lines, because everything else is maybe not wood. So, oh, I need to get, 1 second, I need to get my, there we are, get the water. So remember how we do it. Dip in the water a little bit to get your brush a bit wet. Get a little bit of paint, but not too much. And then paint it over, but only on the lines. Only on these lines bits. So yeah, we're going to do this now. So again, I won't bore you by watching it all, by filming it all. But yeah, it's been a few days since we've hobbied, isn't it, love? Been a bit busy. Make sure you don't leave blobs. Oh, you're having fun there, aren't you?
I like to wash my blood.
Okay. Right, so yeah, we're going to paint all the bits that should be wooden. I would have been doing the other stone colours, but I haven't had time to mask, so that'll have to be done next. Just remember, if it gets too thick like here, Roo, look, you need to brush that out a bit. That's it, smear it over. Very good. You're getting very good at this. So yeah, everywhere where you see lines, you can paint. Right, we're going to keep doing this, and I'll bring you back for the next step when I get to it. So if you hear anything in the background, I have a Rosie with me. So what I'm going to do now is, this is obviously going on her wall, and what I need is I need a way to mount it to the wall. So I've got some hanging kits, and they have these awesome little things in. So I'm actually going to stick one of those on the back using my grabby glue, and then later on I will put it on a wall. So we're going to find, if I haven't just broken it, I have just broken it, I'll have to fix it. Just broke the little fence off. I thought I'd do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the centre, mark it up there. I've got to fix, got to glue the fence back on. I'm a klutz. And then I'm just going to use my grabby glue to put a blob of grabby glue there, a very small blob. And then Rosie, do you want to help me with this? Yeah. So very carefully, what we're going to do is we're going to take this. You come on over here. Come on over here. Opa.
I got that.
Yeah, thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that. Let me move you over. Ooh. Right. We're going to put that here. And what I need you to do is just press very, not heavily, very gently. That was a little bit heavy, but it's okay. There we are. When that dries, we can now hang that on your wall. How about that? Right, so the printed out pictures that I stuck on the blue foam, that's worked quite well. And if I put these in place, and I will obviously be gluing these, I think you can see that they actually look pretty good. I mean, they're certainly not as good as the 3D printed ones, but they'll definitely be good enough. And if you haven't got a 3D printer, that's definitely a brilliant way of doing something like this, because it's very quick. You just need to find the pictures, print them, cut them out, stick them on to backing, and then there you are. And if you've not done shelves, if you're doing it even flatter, then it's an even better idea. Just glue them in place on the flat background. So what I'm going to do is stick these in place. Now I am going to do this in two steps, because as you can see, it's pretty hard to push that one in if it's not stuck in place. So I'm going to glue this one in here, leave that one to stick in once this is dried, probably leave it overnight to dry, and then I'll probably, to be honest, I'm happy enough with how they are that I think I'm going to just go through all the rest of the printouts that I did, stick those onto a backing,
and glue them in place. And I might then come along and do some more printouts. So that is a second successful way of putting books onto a shelf. Just go on Google, find some pictures, print them and put them in place. So yeah, happy about that. And it's the 2nd of September, so I'm a little late finishing this, but I have just finished my bust for August, which I'm quite pleased with. Had a really busy month for various reasons, that's why it's a little bit late on it, and also just ran out of motivation to do any hobbying for a little while for various reasons as well. So this is going to be September's bust, which is just epic, and I really hope I can do this one justice. He's a beast of a man. I'm looking forward to painting that up. So yeah, really pleased to have kept on with this. So I'll have October and November, which will both be from Printamancer, and then my December bust is something a bit different. But anyway, she can go on the shelf. He can come and get primed now, and then go down and start painting him tomorrow. Well, this is pretty awesome. This is a sculpt done by Quinn from Quinn's Budget Crafts, and we play roleplay together, which is great fun. This is my character here, and in one of the recent-ish session, me and my sister, who is also a halfling, we took over a fire giant skeleton and rigged it up and walked around in it, and it was hilarious. We called it Skele-bot, and it was such fun, but we've left it now sat at a bar with a pint, which we'll go back to it later in the campaign maybe. But I asked Quinn to do that as a sculpt for me as part of his Patreon, and he has knocked it out of the park. It's absolutely wonderful. And I'm actually doing this. I'm going to make this and post this off to the guy who plays my roleplay sister, Brulette. And it's going to be a big surprise. So I'm umming and ahhing how much of this I'm going to film and put on the vlog. I don't think he watches my videos. I want it to be a surprise, and I've already blown it if it is, I suppose, so I may as well film it. But yeah, great sculpt. I printed it out huge. It's come out really nicely. Unfortunately, literally just now, just a second, I've broken the look at how detailed that is. He's actually put all of the little holes on it. I've broken the finger piece out of my bagpipes, so I'm going to need to glue that back on, which is a shame, but it's just beautiful. I love it. So yeah, it goes together very, very nicely. You can see that the ropes slot into those little slots, and they slot into those little slots. So he's designed it really, really nicely. Very, very cool. And then we will stand in there looking out the front of Skele-bot. So I'll get that stacked together, get it painted, and then get it shipped off to the States. As I say, not sure how much I'll put on the channel. I might, when I've finished it, I might show you. But I'm going to print another one for myself, and I'll probably do that, and I'll probably do that more on the channel when I'm not worried so much about spoilering. But I did want to show it off because it's really, really cool. I just love what he's done. He's such a talented guy. So thank you very much, Quinn. Really appreciate it. Well, there we are. As I said, a shorter week, but still some really good fun progress made. It was really cool to get back to the Orbs diorama, the library diorama, and I'm having a lot of fun with these books. Hopefully I'll have at least one more, if not two more, methods of making books in next week's video, so stick around for that. And of course, working with Rosie is just a joy, so can't knock that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, particularly if you made it this far. Really do appreciate it. I know that my content isn't the same as most hobbyists' content out there, and the fact that a few of you do watch it does blow my mind. So yeah, thanks for sticking with it. I will wrap up by saying, as I always do, if any of you are impacted directly or indirectly by the horrible war in Ukraine, then my thoughts go out to you and anyone that you know who may be. I can't believe it's still going on this late. It's just crazy. What a horrible thing. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.